We've got Landers here. Good evening, Richard and Stephen. I have an enlarged prostate gland, weak urinary flow. Would a carnivore diet be contraindicated with this condition? I can't find any info on it. Right. Well, the first thing I would say is if you go on Google, and sadly, if you go on to YouTube and you do some searches, you're not going to get good information about carnivore, low carb, or ketogenic diets, because a lot of what we talk about, the WHO, which is a business, it's not an independent health organization, they do get funding, will hide the information from you. And as I said last week, if I was looking to improve my health 10 years ago, I would have done a Google search, I would have done a YouTube search, and I would have found keto, I would have found Ken Berry, Eric Berg, all those sort of people. Now I wouldn't find it. I genuinely wouldn't find it. So here we go. So yes, so I would firstly say it's very doubtful the carnivore diet would be contraindicated, rather because it's an anti-inflammatory diet. It's definitely anti-inflammatory. Too many people have said this, they've experienced it. It would improve your situation. You see, what happens, the bladder obviously fills with a certain amount of urine, and then as it stretches, it pushes and it gives you the desire to urinate. If your prostate enlarges, it pushes up into this area and it makes the internal size of the bladder smaller, but because the prostate is pushing up against the bladder misreads it as a full bladder waiting for you to urinate, because the prostate is pushing up. So therefore, when you then urinate, what happens is you get a weak flow. Much like the old-fashioned systems for toilets in the UK, where you'd have a big chamber full of water and you'd have a chain which you would pull and gravity would make that flush go. If you put bricks into the cistern, which is what people used to do to save water, so your flush didn't have so much water in there, you would get a weaker flush. And that's exactly what's happening with you. Your prostate's pushing it. Well, this isn't medical advice. This is talking generally, actually, about this condition. Can't give you one-to-one advice, Landers, I'm afraid. But anyway, that's what happens. So I hope that makes sense. The prostate gland inflames, gets large, whatever is caused that, we don't really know. But that's what's making the weak urinary flow. That and the fact that the urethra is going to be inflamed.